Hi guys, welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 4, Graphing Proportional Relationships. So when it comes to graphing proportional relationships, right, which also means that we're graphing linear equations. So when you graph it, it creates a straight line, okay? And keeping that in mind, we use something called slope, all right? So there's a couple different ways to think of it. The ratio of the change in y to the change in x. You could also think of it as the ratio of the rise to the run. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. It's also the unit rate, or most simple terms, it's how steep a line is. Okay, the variable that represents slope, and I'm not sure why, I guess maybe I should look that up, but is m, all right? And so this right here, this is one way that you can find slope, okay? It's not the only way, but it's one way that you can find it. And this shows the change in the y values. When we're talking y values and x values, we're talking like coordinate pairs. Okay, so like the change from one coordinate pair's y to the other, and the x value from one to the other. Okay, but don't worry, we're going to do some examples and hopefully it'll make more sense. With number 1, this is also number 1 on your practice. Okay, we were given this line. This is already in there. There's a picture of it on your lesson. And then it says, find the equation of the line y equals mx. So that is the basis, or the base that we're going to be working with equation-wise through the origin that describes the proportional relationship shown in the graph. Okay, so all of that sounds big and complicated and weird, right? But it's not too bad, I promise. All right, so I am going to show 2 different ways to find the slope. One, we were given 2 points. This point here is point 1, 4, and then this next one is point 2, 8. So if we focus on this here, finding slope, what we could say, well, here's my first point, here's my second point. So I could take the y values and I could say, okay, well, 8 minus 4, right? That's the change in value with my y's over the change in value with my x's. So 2 minus 1. So 8 minus 4 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. So the slope is 4 over 1, or just 4. So for the equation, we could say y equals 4x. Okay? So, and notice I'm using that same format that was given here. So in your lesson, you're going to be putting this in as your final answer. Okay? Now, from the definition that we talked about earlier, right, one of the other things I said was the rise over the run. So another thing you can think is, okay, well, how far up did I go? Well, let's see. From this point to this point, I went 1, 2, 3, 4 up and over 1. So rise over run. I went up 4 over 1, which is the same thing that we found here. So there's a couple different ways that we can solve, all right? But in the long run, that 4x is what you're looking for on that one. This next one is number 4 on your practice. It says complete the ordered pairs in the table by finding the y coordinates of the ordered pairs for the equation y equals 1/4 x. So what we're doing is we're taking our x values from our coordinate pairs, okay, and we're plugging it into the equation to find the y values. All right, so I'm going to set it up 3 different times. First with a 0, and then also with the 4, and the 8. Okay, well, anything times 0 is 0. So on that first one, y equals 0. Right, so it goes through the origin, which when we get into something called slope-intercept form, that will hopefully make more sense. But for now, anytime that happens, it goes through the origin. On this next one, 1/4 times 4, or think 1/4 of 4 is 1. Okay, so 4 and 1. And then this next one, 1/4 of 8, or 8 divided by 4 is another way we can think about it, is 2. So really, it's actually that same line that we were just working with, okay? Or almost, actually. Almost the opposite of it. Okay, let's see here. Next one. All right, but that's all you had to do. We were just solving for the y values. On number 3, this is number 4 on your quick check. It says graph the proportional relationship y equals -2x by plotting points. So with this, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up like a t-chart, okay, or it's also called an input-output table. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose different values for x, and then we'll solve for y, and those become our coordinate pairs. So a good place to start is always with 0. 0 is such an easy one to put in there. I'm also going to do 1, and I'm going to do 2. You can choose whatever values you want, but those are just the basic ones that are going to get us there. So if I plug 0 in here, -2 times 0 is 0. So one of the points on our graph is going to be 0, 0, or the origin. For the next one, if I plug 1 into here, that means I have -2 times 1. Well, anything times 1 is itself, so that means we've got -2. So 1, -2. And then times 2. -2 times 2 is -4. So that's my next coordinate pair. Then I'm going to go ahead and graph it. Well, we've got 0, 0, that's our origin. 1, -2. From the origin, I'm going to go to the right one, down 2. And then with this next one, 2, -4, right? So I'm going to go to the right 2, and then down 4. And then I'm going to connect them. Now, notice, this was our slope. Our slope was -2. And notice, since the slope was a negative, it looks like from left to right, our graph is going down. When we had a positive slope, like on this first one that we did, we found that we had a +4 slope, and it looked like it was going up from left to right. So that's something to consider as well when you're looking at those graphs. Okay? All right, as always, let me know if you need extra support, and have an awesome day.